Hi, welcome back to Evolve with Grace. I'm Shonya, not Grace. But the name of my channel is Evolve with Grace because that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Uh, this channel is for you and it's for me and it's for all the women in our lives that are going to evolve through different stages of womanhood, adulting, mothering, humaning. Yes. So anyway, are you tired of being sick and tired? I am so tired. So tired of being sick and tired. If you see any of my shorts, I talk a lot. Well, I speak often about finding peace, finding your peace, right? And it's kind of hard. Now, I sit here with you with, I don't know if you can see it. I have KT tape on my neck and my shoulders. Um, Still dealing with aches and pains, still not knowing what's going on with broken screws in my ankle. I had a horrible stiff neck, went for lots of massages, which caused me to probably have a pinched nerve because I have numbness, tingling, and pain all throughout my shoulder. And when I bend over to pick something up, all this pulls and it's just brutal. But I'm making it through. I'm making it through, and I do not let the pain define my day. Sometimes it tries, but I don't. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about protecting your peace. And when I say that this is for you and it's for me, I mean it because I'm going through these things. So I'm sharing what I go through with you all in hopes that I can give you some tips on what's helping me get through, right? So I remember as a kid, well, it's funny how things pop up in your head as when you were a child, when random moments happen. And I remember my mother saying to me when I wasn't paying attention or I would daze off and drift away. I used to be a big daydreamer as a kid. I remember my mother saying, "What are you, in La La Land? Are you in La La Land?" And I never knew what La La Land was, but I guess she means a land that's maybe disconnected from reality, um, where you can daydream and think about something else other than what's going on right in front of you. And I used to take trips there, I guess, because she used to say it, right? So life has been lifing lately. I have a lot of wonderful things going on in my life. I have a lot of blessings, and I count them. I count my blessings, or they say don't count your blessings. No, count your blessings. I count my blessing because what I'm saying to you is that I take a lot of time in gratitude, thinking about the wonderful things that are in my life, the wonderful people, even the experiences. I was sitting at the office the other day, and it was really stressful. My job could be very stressful and demanding at times. And I was sitting with my team, and I looked at them, and I said, I am so blessed to have you guys in my life. I am so blessed to work with you. I said, work can be really hard sometimes. It can be stressful, but seeing you every day makes my job easier. And I appreciate all of you, and I feel blessed to have you in my life. And they were kind of taken aback. At first, they thought I was joking because I'm a jokester. And they looked at me and they was like, wow, Shonya, that really means a lot. So I try to spend a lot of time in gratitude. And when I had said that to my coworkers, I said that at a time that I was stressed out at the office. Wanted to pull my hair out, tired, achy, exhausted, and when I get stressed, again, this issue with my neck and shoulder, it tends to tense up. I carry my stress on my shoulders. Lucky me. Anyhow, I don't really talk about. One of the reasons why I don't make videos as often as I do, as I did in the past, is because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And it is hard to see, hard to hear. But I feel as a person who needs to be informed, I kind of pay attention. But it kind of feels like a train wreck, it's catastrophic. The things that you see are going to be awful, and they're going to stay with you, and they're going to make you sad, or they're going to make you miserable. You still have to look, right? our own personal world, whether it's with your family, your job, your friends, your pets, yourself, you go through things. You have these life experiences that are tough. And there's some things that are great, and there's some things that are not so great. But we live in a very informed world. So you can pop on social media and you can see the most horrific things. You can put the TV on and see the most heartbreaking and horrific things. And you feel as if, I'm not going to say you, I feel at times that it is my responsibility, my duty to pay attention, to not live in la la land. So my emotional state with dealing with physical aches and pains, I'm going to say physical aches and pains because I know that this too shall pass. You know, like I know that the issues that I'm having are not going to be there for my whole life, but they're going to be there first, you know, until I go through this healing process. Watching things on television and social media and the bad over here, and it's like you're playing ping pong, going back and forth, looking at every day something chaotic, something catastrophic, something sad, something bad all the time. It weighs on us. It weighs on us as people, because then the things that we deal with in our day-to-day life are hard enough. Adulting is hard. Finances are hard. Love is hard. Love is beautiful. And nothing worth having is easy. I'm not just speaking as a relationship. I'm speaking about all relationships. The love that you have for your friends, your families, your pets. All of these things are built into the fabric of our day-to-day of who we are. So when we're overly consumed or overly fed with things that muddy our water, things that evoke feelings of sadness, depression, stress, on top of our own little world, it is really hard to navigate sometimes. And it is super draining. Super draining. I wish I was a kid sometimes, that I can go back to La La Land, as my mother said. So this video isn't just about my opinions on how hard evolving in this day-to-day hot mess of a world we live in. It is how to help you navigate that, how to help you have moments of peace, and to protect. And when I often say protect your peace. So what does that look like for me lately? If you have any ideas of how you protect your peace, please share them in the comments, because somebody else may read them and it may help somebody else. Sourdough, I've talked about it. If you look back at one of my videos, I talked about my desire for baking sourdough bread. I love to cook. So there's a peaceful, calming aspect, rewarding aspect to making sourdough bread for me. I have found Mahjong. Now, Mahjong is a game that I probably would have never thought to I don't know, I guess it's not something I never thought about. I never, like, used to hear the word when I was a kid, but I'm like, what the heck is that, right? So I'm watching, I don't know, the Duchess, Meghan Markle, Sussex, whatever, Meghan. She has a show on Netflix, and I come from the era that of people who love to watch Martha Stewart and Julia Childs. So her series was basically about cooking and entertaining, making things prettier. You know, I think some people bashed her because everything wasn't from scratch. I also love Sandra Lee's semi-homemade. I don't believe everything has to be done from scratch. Anyway, I watched her show, and I enjoyed it because it reminded me of back in the day Martha Stewart. And if you know anything about Martha, when she had her catering business, her stuff was pre-made, but I don't know if she told everybody. I'm watching a show, and on each episode, she's bringing in friends. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I love the bond of women. Like, I love the sisterhood. I'm a big sisterhood person. I think that women are a tribe of their own, and that we all need to support each other and take care of our sisters. And I don't care what they look like, where they come from. You're a girl, you're my sister. Period. Full stop, right? So I'm watching the show, and I love the sisterhood. And one day her friends come over and they play mahjong, and I'm like, oh, they're sitting outside on the patio and they're playing. I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. So I reached out to, well, my cousin who watched the show, and she saw it. She's like, oh my gosh, I want to learn how to play that. And then I reached out to my girlfriend, who I know, one of my besties. I know that she probably watched that show too. And she's like, yes, I'm in. So a couple weeks later, this is how the universe works. We have a town page on Facebook, and on the town page, there was an advertisement for mahjong lessons. So, me. It was a store in our town. So I go down to the store and I said, where do I sign up? I've got 3 other women who want to play. Where do I sign up? So we sign up. And he's like, oh, okay, it's this is how much you have to pay, and maybe we're gonna get the center across the street because they can fit more people. Anyway, we sign up. At first I'm like thinking, oh, this is great. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna be able to do this? Because one of my closest people, she had just won a cancer battle. She just made it through the other side, thank God. And she had just recently had reconstructive surgery. So I was like, I don't know if she's gonna be able to be up for it by the time that this thing comes. Lo and behold, she made it, holding her pillow to herself, hunched over because she's still healing, and we, the 4 of us, went for mahjong lessons. The cool thing about it is that there were 4 other women that were there from town that we don't normally see. That we knew them from town, or our children went to school together, and it was cool. So for the last several weeks, we've been going to mahjong on Wednesday nights, and it's awesome, and I love the game. So our classes are about over, and I bought a set off of Amazon. I got the card table, I got everything that we need, so that every Wednesday we're gonna commit to playing mahjong. Now, why do I love that? I love that for the fellowship, the sisterhood, the connection. You really have to think when you play this game. It is not like it is online when you have to match up stuff. This is work. It is, it's a lot, it's strategy. It's kind of like a cross between poker and Uno and dominoes, because it's tiles. It's at first, when our first class, we were like, we're not getting this. Like, what did we get ourselves into? But we loved it, and we have committed to every Wednesday night that we're going to play. Because if we made time on Wednesday nights to do that, we're going to take Wednesdays to get together to play. That is the first tip that I want to share with you about trying to protect your peace from the craziness of the world. You can't escape reality. But I find that when you connect with other women, and the constant conversation is not about all the things that are bad, and it's not about politics or people's rights or horrible tragedies. When you can sit with a couple of other women and just have an hour or 2 of just being together, where you try to leave some things off the table because you talk about it the other things so much, that giving yourself that break is so necessary. So that's the first tip that I'm giving you about protecting your peace. Find something that you love. Oh, another thing that I'm finding that's protecting my peace. The building that I work in has a meditation room. And in that room, they also give you coloring books and colored pencils. Sometimes you have to tap into your inner child and do something that you enjoy as a kid, something that relaxes you. So now when I go sit in the meditation room, I take the time to color. I enjoy that. The last tip I'm going to give you is to go to La La Land. Not maybe La La Land, but, well, La La Land if it's a great place for you. I have found Shondaland. Bridgerton. Yeah. So I have been pulled in many directions: physical therapy multiple times a week, working late, working early. Uh, like I said, aches and pains, watching the news, watching social media, just get beat up, just beat up. So I said to my husband, I said, oh, another thing, ask for what you need and take what you need. That is another tip. Take what you need. So I had this conversation. I said, listen, uh, Saturday, I'm doing nothing. I'm going to do a whole bunch of nothing. I said, I am tired. I have been stressed. I have been sad. I have been mad. I just need to decompress. Let me sit in my recliner. I said, I need to take care of me. I need to go, some people want to say lick your wounds or pull the blanket over your head. I need to pull the blanket over my head and just relax. Well, I did that. I caught up on the last 2 seasons. Yes, because I'm an overachiever. I finished it, of Bridgerton. I love it. I love it. And I know that culturally, that period of time didn't look that way. But in the perfect world, it did. In my mind, I would have loved to see a world like that, except for the women being, second-class citizens. But not necessarily. Women are shown in a good, positive light. But you still have to fight for feminine rights in this show. But that's not the forefront of the series. The music, the costumes, the dancing. And would you believe they have polite society? Oh my gosh. They would say, in polite society. Do you remember polite society? And I'm not even talking about polite society, where you danced. I don't know what the heck those dances were, but if they saw our dancing today in 2025, they would probably think we were having seizures or something. I don't know. But the dancing, the costumes, the music, and since I had started watching it again, I realized my love for classical pop, instrumental pop. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Go on YouTube and look for pop instrumentals. Or ask that girl Alexa if to play pop instrumentals, and it's some of the most popular songs with just the instrumental, and it really works for people like me, because I don't know about you, sometimes there's songs that come on the radio and I sing them and I think I know the words, but my kids look at me like that is not even the words to that song, but I still sing it because I enjoy the song. So when you listen to the pop instrumental version, you can sing the words any way you want, and no one's going to care, but it's something beautiful and calming about it. So I play it when I'm working from home. I have it in my ear pod sometimes. Ear pod? Yep. See? Perimenopause, brain fog. Earbud? Yep, that thing. I said ear pod. See, this is a part of me evolving with grace and giving myself grace, because this whole perimenopause thing, my mouth sometimes works faster than my brain, and then sometimes my brain just pauses, and certain words that normally come to me are like, I have to think about it for half a second. Anyhow, I hear it's normal. It's normal, so when it happens to you, you're not alone. So anyway, Bridgerton, the music, the love story, the costumes. Let yourself go somewhere. And if you're corny like me and you like that stuff, go to Shondaland. If you can't go to La La Land, that's pretty awesome. I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. That was kind of what I've been doing to get by, like to just get through. Be like Dory on Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. That's all we can do. And be supportive. Find something to reiterate those 3 things that I had said. I don't even know if they're 3. See? Find your peace. Find other women and do something with them that helps you learn something fun, something entertaining. Give yourself some time to connect with other women. Number 1. Number 2, do something that brings out your inner child. Find your calming thing. Craft, paint a vase, color, You know, go back to coloring in a coloring book. They have adult ones now, so you don't have to go getting like the Disney one or anything. But the Disney ones are pretty cool too. Um, find something to entertain you and give yourself permission to step away from the crazy, step away from the noise, because you're not good to anyone if you're not in a good place. I can't fix what's going on in the world. You can't fix what's going on in the world. It's equating what our parents used to say: eat all your food because there's starving children in some country. You eating your food or not eating your food is not going to impact them in any way. So it's okay to give yourself peace. It doesn't mean that if you do, that you are detached or you don't care or you're not empathetic or sympathetic or any of those things. In order to be the best version of yourself, you have to take care of yourself. And this is something that I'm constantly reminding me as I'm sharing it with you. And I hope this video comes to you in a good place. I hope you're doing well. Please comment. What are you doing? How are you getting through the crazy? Yeah, the days we live in are not things that I would ever thought that I would be seeing in my lifetime. And I really pray and hope for better days for our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, and for everyone, for all of us. Take care. Thank you for watching. I forgot to turn this off.